What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well, staying positive and staying productive. I want to speak to you guys about nutrition. And most of the time, everybody's giving information about the benefits of nutrition and why it's good for you and what you're going to gain from it. And usually they go that route. And I do that too. But I thought this time I would reverse engineer it and tell you the negative effects if you don't try to eat well and treat yourself well. Okay. I've coached thousands of people. I've spoken to, I can't even tell you, in the tens of thousands of people. You got to remember that for a good 15 years of my life, I spent 8 to 9 hours in one of the busiest gyms and multiple gyms around the world, speaking to hundreds and hundreds of people a day in person, telling me their problems, their obstacles, what they're trying to achieve, and actually seeing them over time, whether they went the route of success or failure because of their habits, and they will tell me why. So I have really, really, really good insight when it comes to this, and I think this will help you guys. I'm going to give you a couple of them today, and then later on some more down the road if I get some good feedback from this video. Now, what's some of the problems? What's some of the negative effects that you will get 100% guaranteed if you don't eat well? Okay, I'm going to start talking about the first and most important one to me is your mental health. Okay, 90%. They say 70, 80, 90, but I believe it's 90 because the other 20% comes from other residual effects of eating well that will help boost. So whether it's 70% or 90%, okay, from the direct gut health, but also the residual effects of looking good and actually having the energy. Your serotonin in your brain, your happy drug, your happy chemical that makes you feel good, makes you feel content, makes sure that you have low anxiety and you're not being depressed all the time, is created in your gut. Those chemical responses in your brain are created from the nutrition in your gut and the bacteria, the biomicrobe that your body produces. So it is impossible to feel great and to feel good and to be at your optimal level mentally and emotionally if you don't eat good. I've never in my life, coaching thousands of people, had anybody text me, call me, email me, stop me in the gym, stop me on vacation, stop me in the street, whatever, because people always ask me for advice. Say to me, Coach, I eat like shit and I feel good, but I just want to look better. Can you help me out? I've never heard that once in my life. None of you out there have ever said that, and you're never going to hear that. People that have a poor diet do not feel good. They can't say that stress, anxiety, confusion, fatigue, brain fog is not a normal thing that they feel on a daily basis. Okay, so that's the number one reason why you should eat good, is because everything that you eat creates the level of how good you feel up here and how good you can express yourself when it comes to your career, to your clients, to your employer, to your employees, to the people that you date, to the person that you're married to your children. That's the energy that you bring to them. How you feel is how they're going to feel with you. So just knowing that, that's a huge reason. That's my number one reason why I should eat good. Okay. The second reason is because of what you look like when you don't feel good, okay? From not eating well. You put on weight, you have poor muscle mass, you have low energy, you have low libido. You need to have proper nutrition, micro and macronutrients, vitamins and minerals for your body to be able to produce an optimal endocrine system, for you to be able to operate well, to have good libido, to have a good sex life, to have good emotional state, to have good confidence, to have low body fat, and to be able to have some muscle on you so that you can fight colds, fight viruses, diseases, bacteria, and to be able to have good energy. So it's really hard on the mental state, emotionally, psychologically, when you don't eat good and you don't look good, when you're not proud of yourself, when you're ashamed, you feel guilty, you've going back and forth to get snacks in the kitchen and it makes you feel bad because there's nothing wrong with the food and there's nothing wrong with the snack. But if you're living in a consistent life that you're trying to hide the way your body looks, or you don't feel proud of yourself, forget what anybody else thinks. But if you really don't feel proud of yourself and you're ashamed of your habits and how you look, and maybe even being intimate with other people, or going to a pool or going to a beach, then that's going to affect you severely, because that energy you carry, like I said in the first reason, is going to be portrayed to others. And they're going to see you as weak. They're going to see you as insecure. They're going to see you as somebody who doesn't have much respect or value for yourself. So then you will not get respect and value back from people, because they're going to match your energy. Okay. The third one is for the females, 100%. The men, we said that it's going to affect your libido, but they can try to take certain medicines that can try to help them with erectile dysfunction, but they're still not going to feel good about themselves. And those medications don't work well with somebody when they don't have good oxygen production and don't have a good physical capabilities. It doesn't do much for them, because I've had a lot of clients try to go the route of not exercising, not eating well, and trying to base all their life off medications to band-aid the problems that they suffer, and they do not get far. So, but for the women, your hormonal cycle really is dictated around your nutrition and your well-being. A female that eats well, exercises, gets plenty of activity, stays hydrated, and sleeps well is going to have way less problems with her period. She's going to have way less problems in her pre and enduring phase of her premenstrual cycle, okay, in her luteinizing phase specifically. She's going to have less cramps, less fatigue, less mood swings. She's going to have just all the things that cause her to be miserable, with the aches, the pains, the temperature changes, the fatigue, the low energy, the spikes and drops of energy and emotional stability. Those will be subsided to the best of their ability through her nutrition. And honestly, depending on how you eat and how you treat yourself within those first decades of life up until you get perimenopausal, really dictate how you will go through that period of life, okay? And any woman that suffered from the lower end of the negative effects of that will tell you that it's brutal. And then you end up going to a doctor, they're trying to put you on medication to fix that, put the Band-Aid on the problem to make your menopause easier, but you've never created the muscle tissue that you need. You don't have the bone density that you need. You don't have the immunity that you need. You don't have the habits with food, with hydration, with stress relief, with stretching, with sleeping that you really need for that medicine to make it optimal. And you're basically just tortured through those years. So that's the next reason why you should eat well. That's a massive negative effect. For the men, sexually, of course, but for the women, even more. The next one is, if you don't eat well, the people in your life won't eat well. So let's say you want to start a family, you want to get married, and eventually have kids. Your habits will be passed on to your children. And while you're fatigued and you're tired and you don't feel good about yourself and you don't have good energy, and you're always seeing things as negative and exhausting and tiring, and you're procrastinating, you're passing that same habit on to your household. The wife or the husband will continue with these patterns, and there's a high chance, over 85% chance, that the other partner will subdue to those same habits. And then if they have children, the children will subdue to those same habits. And that's really, really bad. For you to be able to pass these negative effects onto children, and they're raised insecure, they're feeling bad about themselves, they got low energy, they don't have proper brain function because they don't have the nutrients, the essential fats and amino acids they need for good brain cognition and production, and they don't do well in school, they've got poor concentration, they don't feel good to be able to do sport. So those primary years of their life, those first decades, they don't get the development they need, and they build these limiting beliefs. School's not for me, studying's not for me, success is not for me, sports not for me, discipline is not for me. And they usually go down the wrong path when they feel like they're less of and not capable of. And when children do go through that phase, even if you've done everything right, that's when a parent is supposed to be able to step up. Not their teachers, not YouTube, not fucking TikTok. Their parents are supposed to step up and be like, hey, these are the blueprints. This is what I do to feel good. This is what I do to succeed. This is how discipline works. This is how consistency works. This is how health works. This is how self-love and self-development works. And when a parent can't show that to a kid, and the kid is left to be able to find its way and fill those gaps on the streets or with friends or however it will, it does not come out positive, okay? It becomes a massive, massive problem. And the last one I want to speak about is diseases and precursors and predispositions, okay? It's been proven in the last decades through scientific studies that gene expression, meaning the expression of your genes, okay? Let's just say your mother and her mother and your aunties and your great-grandmom all had Crohn's disease, or all had MS, or all of them had early onset osteoporosis, or arthritis or rheumatology problems early in life. If you do the right things, there's a 90% chance that you won't express that gene and suffer from that predisposition. And it's been proven. And if you do the right things, if that expression does come through, you will have the minimal effects of it and still live quality, healthy life. So that means that whatever predispositions are inside of you from your mother and from your father and the people before them, you can be able to dictate whether or not they get expressed in your body through environment. And environment, when they say that gene expression can be manipulated through environment, if you read it on a study or you hear people talk about it in these reels, these doctors and stuff on Instagram and Facebook, it means that if you create the right environment with your lifestyle, with your nutrition, with your stress, with your sleep, with your exercise, that you can prevent these things that are already in you. They're ticking time bombs. And that's really important, because what's the point of going through life, dragging along in a career most people don't like, trying to pay bills while life's getting expensive and their paycheck's not getting up there, for you to get to those later years where you have some money and your kids are out of the house, to be fucking sick, to not be able to go on vacation, enjoy your hobbies, be spontaneous and take a trip, make love when you want to. What's the point of getting to that age if you're just going to be able to watch more Netflix all day, all night and scroll on your phone? That's pointless. So, I always say, take a look at the people around you that are older and use them as an example and work backwards. It's hard to say that, but most people, if you ask them, do you want to end up like your parents? Do you want that relationship? Do you want that retirement plan or that pension that they're living off of budgeting? Is that the lifestyle that you want for yourself? And most people will say no. Not that it's bad, but they want something better or different. So this is your chance. And if you have parents that are sick, that are on medications for blood sugar, they're on medications for hypertension and blood pressure, for cholesterol, for coronary diseases, for arthritis and rheumatology issues, autoimmune issues, these injections that they're taking once a month or once every 2 months cost thousands of dollars. And insurance companies are upping the premiums and cost because people are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. In the West, the number one, and in the first world, the number one reason for death right now is lifestyle. It is food and sitting around. It's beaten smoking, it's beaten cancer, it's beaten diseases. So all through the history of time, people had crazy plagues and diseases, and then eventually life leveled out through medicine and through the research, and people had a decent life, and the number one death would be from people that made really bad choices like alcohol and smoking cigarettes. But now it's just food and lifestyle. People went from walking an average of 15 to 17,000 steps in the 70s and in the 80s to an average of 2,500 a day now. That's massive. That means that their body is just rotten, going from the bed to the car to the desk somewhere at work, back to the couch and back to bed, putting in processed foods in processed light with processed air, taking processed transport, a bus, a train, a scooter, car, and the body just ends up just rotting inside out. You got to use it before you lose it. So I hope this can bring you guys some value. I hope it can scare you a little bit to eat better and get the people in your life to be able to eat better and exercise and make better choices, make wiser choices. Because honestly, everyone says it's not going to be me, never me, and then it ends up them. If you think about that 75, 80% of adults are on prescription medications and suffering from one chronic disease, and over 45% of them are on taking multiple medications and have multiple chronic diseases, that means that, you know what I mean? Like 6, 7 out of 10 adults that you see over the age of 40 or 45 are on multiple medications and not living well behind closed doors, okay? Forget what they look like with their clothes or what they show you in a picture. You don't want to be in that position. So take care of yourself. I hope this can bring you guys some value. If you have any questions or need any help with your nutrition or your lifestyle, shoot me a DM. All my information is in the bio. I do have a free workout for everybody. I've got one for the men and one for the women with some nutrition advice in there, stress management, some stretching, and the videos attached to it so you know exactly what to do if you want to just start off exercising and, you know, get yourself a little bit healthier. If you're not ready for a coach or ready for a gym membership, it's really easy and it's free. Just shoot me an email and I will send it to you. Stay good to yourself, stay true to yourself, let nothing and nobody get in the way of the life that you want to live, and make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share the channel. Thanks for your support.